Good day, everyone. I am Jeremiah Kalinyahan, your voice anchor for today, and I'm going to present to you my chosen content for this project in reading in the Philippine history. So, let's begin with Filipino beliefs and traditions. So, first in our list, we have 9 days burial or Pasiyam. Pasiyam, after the entombment, mourners offer prayers such as the Rosary for the dead every evening for 9 days, a custom called the Pasiyam or Pagsisiyam, literally that which is done for 9 days. This novena period often ends with a service followed by formal meal with family and close friends. So the next one is Kulam or Barang in Bisaya. Witchcraft has been present throughout the Philippines even before Spanish colonization and is associated with indigenous Philippine folk religions. Its practice involves black magic, specifically a malevolent use of sympathetic magic. So third in our list, we have Maligno or the Ingon Ato in Bisaya. Maligno, they are the Philippines' supernatural beings. Some are folklores, like Tiyanak and Manananggal, and some are proven, like the White Lady, Ghost, Dwarf, and so many others. And the fourth one is Pagmamano. In the Philippines, as in other Southeast Asian countries, paying respect to older people is a tradition passed from generation to generation. In today's program, we'll talk to Emmanuel Abalos about mano or pagmamano, an honoring gesture performed in Filipino culture as a sign of respect for an elder and a way of requesting a blessing from elder. Next will be Bahay Kubo, like in the song, Bahay Kubo kahit munti, ananana. So, the Bahay Kubo or Payag, is a type of stilt house indigenous to the Philippines. It often serves as an icon of Philippine culture. The house is exclusive to the lowland population of unified Spanish-conquered territories. Its design heavily influenced the Spanish colonial era Bahay na Bato architecture. So next, Fiesta or Festival. Happy Fiesta Kalape. An organized set of special events such as musical performances or plays, usually happening in one place, or a special day or period, usually in memory of a religious event with its own social activities, food, or ceremonies, a film, food, or musical festival. Next, indigenous Filipino healing. Actually, ang nasa picture kay gatuob ni siya, but there are so many ways aning indigenous Filipino healing. So, let's start. Folk medicine refers to traditional healing practices anchored in cultural beliefs of body physiology and health preservation. Reflective of indigenous heritage, it fosters a better understanding of health and disease, healthcare systems, and biocultural adaptation. Folk medicine is perceived to be effective in alleviating health concerns. The accusation of such product is attributed to satisfaction from prior experience, distrust in the current healthcare system, family tradition, and intention to supplement existing medical treatment. Next is indigenous tattooing ni Apo Wangud. A thread is strung through the eye and drawn across the ink to soak it. The needle is then sewn into the skin, up and down, pulled through, and pigment deposited in a channel left by the needle. This is highly skilled work and generally only practiced by the older women of the tribe. Next, pagpag. Pagpag defined as to shake off dust or dirt in English is perhaps the most common death-related pamahiin. Pagpag is the practice of taking the time to go somewhere else after visiting a wake instead of directing going home. It is done as a way to confuse the spirits and to avoid having them follow you home. Nowadays, convenience store, 24-hour coffee shop, and fast food restaurants are the most common places where people go as a practice of pagpag. Like, kanang 7-Eleven, kalingod na adungan magpagpag. So next, balikbayan box. A balikbayan box is a corrugated box containing items sent by overseas Filipino, known as balikbayans, literally returning to the country or nation. Though often shipped by freight forwarders specializing in balikbayan boxes by sea, such boxes can be brought by Filipino returning to the Philippines by air. Next is budol fight. Bahalag way pangunaw, punit lang diha. Kamayan in Tagalog and in Bisaya kinamot. Translate to by hand and describes the method of eating with your hands. It's best used during a budol fight where you share a meal with friends and family over a banana leaf lined table filled to the max with delicious ulam or main dish. Yes. The other one we have harana. Uso pa ba ang harana? Ay, dire. It is a traditional form of courtship music in which a man woos a woman by singing underneath her window at night. It is widely practiced in many parts of the Philippines with a set of protocols, a code of conduct, and a specific style of music. We have bayanihan. In the Philippines, there is a cultural value known as bayanihan. It refers to the spirit of communal unity and cooperation in achieving a shared goal. This value is deeply ingrained in the Filipino physique and it has become an essential aspect of the Filipino way of life. So, we're done in Filipino belief and traditions. Let's proceed to Filipino dishes. Ay, lami, kagutom. First in our bucket list, we have adobo. Adobo is a dish that is usually made with meat, chicken, pork, or beef marinated in vinegar, soy sauce, garlic, and other spices. The meat is slowly cooked until it becomes tender and flavorful. Next, we have humba. Humba, also called homba. Dish got its name from the term humot na baboy in Visayan. That means aromatic pork, both referring to and describing the pork dish characteristics. Pork humba originates from the Philippines, popularly cooked in Visayan and southern region. This dish was influenced by the Chinese dish hong ba or red braised pork belly, which was introduced to Filipinos by Chinese immigrants but has evolved and differed in terms of taste from the humba we know. And the last one we have Filipino lechon. Ang lechon nga panit ay mahalin ang unod ilabay-labay. So, lechon comprises a whole pig spit roasted over charcoal and flavored with oil and spices. It's a dish typically served to celebrate special occasions like fiesta. Filipino birthday parties and Christmas dinners often have lechon or two on the menu. So, we are done in the Filipino dish. And now, let's continue to the historical places. Yay, yay. So, first in our bucket list, we have Diplomat Hotel. Diplomat Hotel, the Dominican priest originally built the Diplomat Hotel as a seminary in 1911. It functioned as a school for many years before the government converted it into a hotel. According to lore, when the Japanese conquered Baguio, many Filipinos, including soldiers, priests, and nuns, were killed and decapitated. Over the years, many residents and visitors claim to have heard unusual screams and seen priests and nuns with severed heads at the hotel. To add more mystery to this sinister tale, the hotel's manager died on the premises from what appeared to be a heart attack. Na, mura na. Diha ang laay. Akan ni, di ko palupig ang Bohol. We have Punta Cruz Watchtower. Oriented northeast, the watchtower was used as a defense system against Moro pirates from the south. It was built under Augustinian Recollect priest Father Manuel Sanchez de Nuestra del Tremandal and was finished in 1796. The fort of Vincent Ferrer, Spanish kay Fuerte de San Vicente Ferrer, or commonly known as Punta Cruz Watchtower, in Tagalog, Bantayan ng Punta Cruz, is a Spanish colonial era watchtower located at the western tip of the municipality of Maribojoc, Bohol, Philippines. Kan ni Bohol po ni. The Blood Compact Shrine. The Blood Compact Monument is an artwork that was made to honor the first international treaty between the Philippines and Spain. The memorial stands in an area along the side of what is now known as Tagbilaran East Road in the Bohol district. Its current spot holds historical significance since it is where Miguel Lopez de Legazpi and Raha Sikatuna performed a blood compact on March 16, 1565. These gestures supposedly signified peace and friendship between the foreigners and the natives of Bohol. So we are now at the last part. Let me share to you ang katagang I Shall Return. So, Landing Memorial Park. The Leyte Landing Memorial Park, or also known as the MacArthur Landing Memorial Park in Palo Leyte, marks the site of General Douglas MacArthur's return to the Philippines to fulfill his promise to the Filipinos in helping free the country from Japanese forces. Therefore, I conclude the belief and traditions of Filipinos are deeply rooted in the rich cultural tapestry woven from indigenous practices, Spanish influences, and modern adaptations. From vibrant fiestas to intricate religious ceremonies, these customs reflect a resilient spirit, strong community ties, and a profound connection to heritage and faith. The historical places in the Philippines offer a captivating glimpse into a rich and diverse tapestry of its past, from ancient rice terraces to colonial era churches and monuments commemorating pivotal moments in Philippine history. These sites serve as poignant reminders of the country's cultural heritage and resilience. Exploring these landmarks not only educates but also fosters a deeper appreciation for the Philippines' multifaceted history. And I believe that's all I have, that's all I've got, and that's all I need to say. And I thank you.